This is the China Maritime Museum in Lingang area, and I'm here to learn about a shipwreck. The story begins in 2015 when they discovered the wreck of an iron vessel just off the coast of Hangsha Island in Chongming District. Now, this particular wreck was named Yangtze Estuary No. 1, but I'm not here to learn about that shipwreck. You see, shortly after the discovery, they decided to survey the area surrounding Yangtze Estuary No. 1, where they found a second shipwreck, this one of a wooden ship. In fact, it is the largest intact wooden shipwreck ever discovered in China, and that is what I'm here to learn about.
The wooden shipwreck was given the designation Yangtze Estuary No. 2, and the salvage operation finally began on Sunday night. Initial investigations have led archaeologists to believe that the ship was a merchant vessel that sailed the waters of eastern China during the Qing dynasty in the mid to late 19th century, somewhere in the 1860s or 70s. They say the ship is most likely a sand junk due to its flat bottom and rudder design.
So why were these ships called sand junks? Well, they weren't used to haul sand. They actually got the name from some interesting design features. First is the flat bottom of the boat, and second is that specialized rudder. These two things together allowed this ship to run in very shallow waters and in and around sandy shoals. Now, the design was initially created during the Tang Dynasty, but during the Ming and Qing dynasties, they were widely used as transport vessels, traveling very, very far upstream inland, and they could even carry cargo on the open sea.
这个船就有一个很大的优点是什么？
The sand vessel has several advantages. Since it got a flat bottom, the ship won't capsize easily. Also, it has a strong ability to resist waves. It can be moored in shallow waters and shoals, so it's highly versatile.
有它的优越性。
Aside from stability, these ships had multiple masts. Some of the largest ones had 7 or even 9 masts. And they carried very, very large sails, and that made the ship very maneuverable in all manner of wind. The rigging was also very different from Western ships. It required fewer hands to hoist or drop sails and very little climbing. Now, these types of sails actually date back a lot farther than the shipwreck. They go all the way back to the Han Dynasty about 2,000 years ago. It's an excellent example of well-designed maritime technology.
那么它就通过就是增加桅杆的数量。
Adding more masts means you can have more sails. The more sails you have, the more wind you can catch to propel the ship. They shaped like rectangles and can catch the wind from any direction.
受风来使用的。
One of the first things archaeologists noticed when they looked at the radar imagery for Yangtze Estuary No. 2 was that it used bulkhead technology. Now, bulkheads were first used by shipbuilders in southeastern China. They designed bulkheads to provide rigidity to a ship's hull, but they quickly realized if they made them watertight, then they could actually protect the entire ship against flooding if it was compromised in any one of the compartments. Now, bulkheads weren't adopted by Western shipbuilders until the 19th century, when they started making vessels out of iron and steel.
因为根据文献的这个记载，
According to the records, Chinese vessels started using the watertight bulkhead technology as early as the Eastern Jin dynasty. It wasn't until the 19th century that bulkheads were used in the West.
实际的时候呢，才开始真正应用，或者是重视水密隔舱这样的一个技术。
The Yangtze Estuary No. 2 is now on its way to the old Shanghai shipyard in Yangpu District, where archaeologists are standing by to begin their research and preservation work. Stephen Rancourt, Shanghai Live.